All right, so the seventh chapter is called Knowledge of the Absolute. And let's look at, we are going to start with verse number 8 today. Krishna pervades, how he pervades everything. So we've done from verse number 1 all the way to verse number 7. We'll do a recap because it's after a few weeks that we're coming back to our study of the Bhagavad Gita. All right, so a mini review. Okay, this is what we did in our last class also because I hadn't started recording. We stopped there and we again discussed about the exam. So we'll do the same thing again for the ones who are not here. I would request you to unmute if you know the answers. You have to tell us the names of these chapters. So chapter 1, who knows the name?
Observing the armies on the
Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
Chapter 2?
Content of Gita summarized.
contents of Gita.
Very nice. Chapter 3?
Karma Yoga.
Karma Yoga.
Yoga. Chapter 4?
Transcendental.
Transcendental knowledge.
Transcendental knowledge. Chapter 5?
Karma Yoga and
Karma Yoga.
action and Krishna
Action
consciousness.
and Krishna consciousness.
Wonderful. Chapter 6?
Dhyan Yoga.
Dhyan Yoga.
Chapter
Knowledge
7?
of the absolute. Knowledge of the absolute.
Knowledge of the absolute.
Wonderful. All right, so that's where we are, knowledge of the absolute, chapter number 7. And this is the verse division, broad sections in this chapter, from verses 1 to 12, how we can know Krishna in full. So from 1 to 3, Krishna talks about the glory of this knowledge. From 4 to 7, Krishna is the source of everything material and spiritual. This is what we did till the last time, and how today we'll see how Krishna pervades everything. Okay, so 7.1, let's go to all these verses, and we were saying how we'll do a little recap because it's after a while that we are starting to dive back in our study. So 7.1, Krishna says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga and full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. So he's talking about the glory of the knowledge that he is going to give us. So let's keep going. Number 2, he talks about jnana and vijnana. So he says, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both Prabhupada, he has given the definition of jnanam as phenomenal knowledge and vijnana as numinous. You can keep yourself muted as of now, sorry, because it's echoing. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Again, glory of the knowledge. So, and we understood what is jnana and what is vijnana. Who can tell us? We have fill in the blanks here.
Jnana is phenomenal knowledge, things as they are, as they appear.
Very good. Vijnana is numinous, things as they
really are.
As they actually are. And we took example how a cat is looking in the mirror. So what is the phenomenal and numinous here?
Lion is phenomenal, cat is luminous.
Wonderful. Also, 2 branches of Western intellectual thought. Empirical is what? And rational is what?
Empirical is pratyaksha.
Pratyaksha, very good. Knowledge acquired through direct perception. And rational is
like guessing, Anuman.
Anuman. But guessing through reasoning, when one comes to an understanding through reasoning or knowledge acquired through reasoning. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives another definition of jnana. What does he say? And vijnana. So jnana is Aishwarya, greatness of God, and vijnana is sweetness of God.
Madhurya.
There is a progression. We also discussed about how Bhagavad Gita reveals God's,
God's identity.
and Srimad Bhagavatam reveals God's.
Stories.
Activities.
Yeah,
Activities.
Activity. Wonderful. And Chaitanya Charitamrita reveals
Heart.
God's.
Heart.
Love.
God.
Art, sorry.
Yes. Okay, so 2 verses so far in the 7th chapter that we're trying to memorize, 7.4. Let's all recite it together. Bhumirapo nalo vayu kammano buddhireva cha ahankara ityam me bhinna prakritir ashtada. Has anyone yet memorized this verse? Okay, so this is one of the verses we have
Yes,
to
Mataji.
memorize. Yes, okay,
Bhumirapanalo
wonderful.
vayu khammano buddhirevacha ahankaram me pinna pragatirastada.
Wonderful, very nice. And let's see the translation. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these 8 constitute my separated material energy. So, Krishna, first from verse number 1 to 3, has given the glory of the knowledge which he's going to give. And from 7.4, he starts to give the knowledge. And he's telling how all these material elements are coming from me. This is his inferior energy. It is coming separated. He's going to tell us what it is inferior later, but here he's telling these constitute my separated material energies. So he's giving this knowledge now. He started giving the knowledge. So analyzing the material elements, both gross and subtle, are products from Krishna's inferior energy. So soul is superior, which Krishna is going to tell in the next verse. But then there is the inferior. What are all of those? The 8
Earth,
elements that Krishna spoke
Earth.
about.
Air, water, fire, ether,
Yeah.
ego,
Mind and
intelligence,
Intelligence and
mind.
mind.
Okay, so let's begin with the subtle ones. The
Intelligence.
first one is ego. Okay. Here also we see they're coming from the inferior. So let's start. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, and then mind,
Mind,
intelligence,
Intelligence.
ego.
Conscience.
So this
Intelligence and
is
Mind,
consciousness.
intelligence, and ego.
ascending order. All right, this is the ascending order. Okay, we spoke about how Krishna is the supreme, and from him 3 Vishnus are coming. So expansions of Krishna, source of all universes, is who? The first
Karnodakshay Vishnu.
or
Karnodakshay
Mahavishnu.
Vishnu.
No, Mahavishnu.
Same
Mahavishnu.
thing. Karnodaksha Vishnu and Mahavishnu, same thing. From Mahavishnu expands
Garbhodakshay Vishnu.
Garbhodakshay.
Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And from whose navel appears Lord Brahma,
Shirodakshaya
right?
Vishnu.
Shirodakshaya.
Shirodakshaya.
Shirodakshay
Wonderful.
Vishnu.
And then the Paramatma who pervades all living entities is Shirodaksha Vishnu.
Shirodakshay Vishnu.
So the next verse that we're trying to memorize in this chapter 7.7, let's all recite it together. Mattaha
Maddaha parataranam.
Kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre mani ganaiva. Has somebody tried to memorize this one?
Chalu madu.
Mai sarvamidam protam sutre mani ganaiva. Okay, now everybody can mute in themselves. A lot of echo. There is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. So Krishna again giving more knowledge about himself. Krishna pervades and sustains everything, just like a necklace is pervaded by a thread. His pervasion is not passive but active. Give me 1 second. I'll also join from my phone. I forgot to do it.
ನಮ್ದು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ದು ಒಬ್ಬಳಂತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಎದುರಿನ ಹುಡುಗ.
So, matta parataram nanyat. Apart from me, there is no truth superior to me. Krishna herein confirms the supremacy of personal aspect of absolute truth, thus settling the controversy whether the absolute truth is personal or impersonal. Prabhupada also says this is important verse to defeat Mayavad philosophy. So, matta parataram nanyat. There is nothing apart from me. There is no other truth superior to me. It could be the impersonal aspect. Krishna is saying that is also not superior to me. I am as standing before you, O Arjuna, as me myself. There is no truth superior to me. Okay, so Krishna speaks about the transcendent and the immanent. So he's beyond matter, he's separate than matter, he's also present within matter, and he sustains matter, not contained by matter, not limited to matter. So we'll begin today's class. He gives more information about himself. So like we said, Bhagavad Gita is identity of God, right? Identity of Krishna. He's revealing that. So 7.8 to 12, how Krishna pervades everything. So 7.7, Krishna speaks about how he pervades everything. And 7.8 to 12, he's going to explain how. Krishna is not only the source, cause and basis of everything. He's also the essence of everything, and we'll look at that. He explains how he maintains this world in the next 4 verses. For example, 7.4, he speaks about how these elements are coming from him, right? Bhume apona lovayur kammano buddhireva cha. For example, the element of water is coming from me, right? 7.8, next verse, which we're going to do now, he explains how he's the taste in that water also. He quenches our thirst and he's the active principle or essence of water. So let's recite the verse 7.8. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryo pranama sarva vedeshu shabdake paurusham nashu. Have somebody read the translation.
O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in mind. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So Krishna is giving 5 attributes here. I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and the ability in man. So let's understand these. I am the taste of water. Rasa aham apsu. So apsu is water and rasa is the taste. I am that taste in water. So remember, previously 7.4, he said, water is coming from me, right? The element water is coming. Now he's saying, within the water, I am that taste also. So when we speak of Sankhya philosophy, when the creation unfolds, description of evolution of elements is described in detail, from subtle to gross. One element evolves from the previous, more subtle element. If you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, a lot of description about, how the elements, first, expansions of Krishna, and then how universes are formed, and then a great detail about the universes, and then about the elements also. So let's look at this quickly. From subtle to gross, one element evolves from previous more subtle element. So this is the descending order now. From ego comes intelligence, from intelligence mind, then ether, then air, then fire, then water, then earth. So more subtle than earth is water, more subtle than water is fire, more subtle than fire is air, more subtle than air is ether. Then more subtle than all of those is mind, more subtle than mind is intelligence, and more subtler than intelligence is ego. So like that, it is evolving. These elements are evolving. Now, when the elements evolve, there is something else also happening. Let's look at that. As the elements are evolving, along with each particular element, a particular sense associated with it also comes out. So, for example, when ether comes out, then the element, when element ether comes out, then along with it, sound comes. So the element facilitates our experience to relish the sense object associated with that particular sense. And we'll understand that in a little more detail. But let's look at this. When ether evolves, then sound comes along. Then when from ether, air evolves. With air, there is the element of sound present, and along with that, the element of touch also comes. Then from air, when fire evolves, along with fire comes sight. But within the fire, there is the element of, there is the sound also, there is touch also, and now there is sight also. Then water evolves from fire, and now there is the taste also with water. And then when earth evolves, then there is odor. The fragrance also comes. So within earth now, then there is all of these elements present. So let's look at the senses present. So elements facilitate our experience to relish the particular sense object which is associated with that particular sense. So let's go back again. Let's look at this and understand again if it is a little confusing. So when ether comes, sound also comes. Then when air comes, touch comes. Then when element of fire evolves, then sight comes. Then when from fire, water comes, then the sense of tasting comes. Then when from water, the element of earth comes, then with that, the sense of fragrance or smell or odor also comes. So the presence of ether enables sound that we experience. You're understanding, right? The presence of air then enables the touch that we experience. The presence of fire enables the sight that we experience. The presence of water enables the taste that we experience. Now remember, along with the taste, there are all the other. There is sight, touch, and sound also there. Then the presence of ether enables the smell that we experience. The taste becomes accessible. So we're taking example of one of the elements now over here. So let's look at water, because Krishna just now said, I am the taste in water. So let's understand in a little more detail. The taste becomes accessible to us through water. If our tongue stops secreting saliva, then we won't be able to taste anything. So water is the medium by which we are able to experience taste. And that taste, Krishna says, I am that taste in water. Prabhupada says the taste of water is the active principle of water. No one likes to drink seawater because the pure taste of water is mixed with salt. So impersonalists perceive presence of Lord in water by taste, and personalists, they glorify the Lord for his kindly supplying tasty water to quench man's thirst. So this is all in the purport. Prabhupada also says attraction for water depends on the purity of the taste, and this pure taste is one of the energies of Lord. So why is Krishna telling us all of this, that I am this, I am this, I am this? So this is a means to go deeper in our remembrance of Krishna by understanding that Krishna is not just present far away in the spiritual world, but he's all around us. Then Krishna, in this verse only, 7.8, he says, Prabhasmi Shashi Suryo, I am the light and I am the light of the moon and the sun. So Krishna is the source of the light of the sun, and Krishna is the source of the light of the moon. The splendor of the sun and the moon, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from Krishna. It is my energy that is manifested through them. Light in the moon and the sun, maintaining them through my vibhuti of light. In this way, I am in them. Prabhupada says the light of the sun and the moon has its origin in the Brahmajyoti. And Brahmajyoti, where is that coming from? From Krishna. It is Krishna's effulgence. When the sun, with the rise of the sun, human activities begin. With fire, we prepare foodstuff. With fire, we start the factories. Krishna says, I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. No one can manufacture anything. All eatables, including grains, fruit, vegetables, milk, sugar, etc., everything is supplied by God. So we did this till last time, if you remember, right? When we were talking about how this South Indian thali on a banana plate, and everybody remember that was the day of Pandav Nirjal Ekadashi. And I quickly went to the next slide. So now you remember, right, where we were. So the necessities of life, heat, sunlight, moonlight, air, rainfall, etc., none of them can be manufactured by the human society. Then Krishna says, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. Pranava is the 3 letters Om. Sarva Vedeshu, in all the Vedas, I am Pranava, I am Om. So Om is so powerful, so why can't we only chant Om? So we do chant Om, right? Before beginning any class, we chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We also, when we get our Brahman Diksha mantras, we chant Om. In those mantras also it is the Gayatri mantras. So Omkar is often used while referring to the absolute truth in a non-personal way. So Pranava in the Vedas, Prabhupada says, it is the beginning of every Vedic hymn. Impersonalists address the Lord by Omkar. They are afraid to address him by his name. This is coming from Prabhupada, that impersonalists are afraid to call the Supreme Lord by his personal name. But Omkar is the sound representation of Krishna. And let's look at how Mahamantra invokes the absolute truth in a very personal way. It is also the Yuga Dharma to chant the Mahamantra in this age. So Prabhupada brings in the Krishna says, I am Om. So devotees might say, why can't we just chant Om then? If Krishna is directly saying he's Om, then Prabhupada brings in all of this information again in the purport that yes, Om is a representation of the Supreme Lord Krishna, but addressing him through the Mahamantra is more personal. It is also the Yuga Dharma to chant. This is from the Bhagavatam, Kale Ridosha Nidhe Rajan Asti Hi Eko Mahan Gunan. And we know this was the most important factor in this age of Kali, which is a notion of false, is that one can be free from all contamination and become eligible to enter the kingdom of God simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. The self-realization that was achieved in the Satya millennium by meditation, in Treta millennium by performance of different sacrifices, and in the Dwapar millennium by worship of Lord Krishna can be achieved in the age of Kali simply by chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna. We took this example last time, if you remember, for example, addressing Prime Minister of India, we say Honorable Prime Minister of India, right? And that is by designation. It is very formal. Or even in a Supreme Court, when the judge comes, everybody stands up, Your Honor, right? That is very respectful and formal. But when he's at home, his mother will call him Narendra, right? That's his name. So that is very personal when somebody is called by his personal name. So similarly for Krishna, Omkar or Om, it is by designation, it is very formal. But when the same Lord is called as Krishna, Govinda, Sham Sundar, Gopal, Shodanandan, Radharaman, so many names, right? All of these are intimate when we call him Adhakam. So next, Krishna says, Shabda Ke, I am Shabda or sound in ether. So remember the elements we were doing. From ether comes sound. So now he's saying, I'm the sound in that ether, in ether. Then he says, Paurusham Nishu, I am the ability. Nishu is men. I'm the ability in men. All living beings. Let's have somebody read this. Can unmute and read.
All living beings have their bodily urges, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, but only the humans have the capacity to go beyond, rise higher, and improve internally. Distinctive ability in humans are coming from Krishna to control one's impulses with one's intelligence, which means opens the doorway to transcendental realization. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is a deeper understanding. Well, when Krishna says, I am the ability in man, so we think about the skills and the intelligence, all those abilities. Yes, they're coming from Krishna, but deeper, if we understand, it is the ability where we can distinct, as humans, we can distinct that the distinctive ability that we can have higher intelligence where we can have spiritual understanding and we can transcend this material world. So efforts in man, I am the effort that brings fruit to men because only by those efforts do men continue to exist. Prabhupada says jurisdiction of Krishna exists everywhere. Knowing Krishna, one is blessed. Not knowing Krishna, one is an illusion. Knowledge of Krishna brings liberation, but ignorance of him brings bondage. Krishna consciousness is the perfection of life. Jurisdiction of Krishna expands everywhere. Krishna's energy pervades everything, and thus we can remember Krishna anywhere and everywhere. And the sense of all advice is always remember Krishna, never forget him. Next verse, 7.9. Punyo gandha prithviyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasho jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat and fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penances of all ascetics. So more attributes Krishna is giving about himself. 4 more attributes. I'm the fragrance of earth. Remember the fragrance coming from earth, the element earth. So punya refers to uncontaminated original flavor, smell, taste, which permeates everything. Punya also refers to what is not decomposed and that which is original. Then Krishna says, I am the heat of fire. So indigestion is due to low temperature in the belly. So he also, because of Krishna and that fire within he's the taste in every sense object that you can think of, which is eatable, right? Edible. So everything we eat, that taste is coming from Krishna, he says. But when we eat those things, those foodstuffs, even digestion that happens within the body is because of Krishna, because he says, I am the fire. So fire is required for digestion inside the stomach. Then he says, I'm the life of all living beings. So duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. By Krishna's grace, one can prolong or diminish. Then he says, I'm the penance of the ascetics. So 4 more attributes. Punya Gandha Prithviyam, I'm the original fragrance in the earth. Conceptual understanding in Sankhya, fragrance is associated with earth. We did this. And experiential understanding is seed has no fragrance in itself, right? If you want to sow, like we sow tulsi seed, by itself, the seed won't have any fragrance. But once you sow the seed and then, it starts to bloom. And then those beautiful manjaris appear. That fragrance is such wonderful, right? Fragrance is not just one plant, but all different kinds of fruits and flowers that you can think of. They have their own taste and fragrances. So the flower and fruit that bloom have charming fragrances coming from the earth. And Krishna says, I am that fragrance in earth. You also have this experiential understanding when there is the first rain, right? You go out, that earth which emanates that beautiful fragrance when first rain comes. It's just something that everybody experiences, and everybody is charmed by that wonderful, pure fragrance of earth. So, fragrance of earth, punya means pleasing or natural according to Amar Kosha. I am the natural fragrance of earth element. Cha indicates the punya applies to all elements, so not just the element earth. It is the pleasing taste in water, pleasing form of fire, all of these, etc., etc. 5 elements. Prabhupada says punya means not decomposed or that which is original, the uncontaminated or original fragrance that permeates everything in flower, in the earth, water, fire, air, etc. is Krishna. Everything has a particular original taste and fragrance. It can be changed by the mixture of chemicals, but it has original taste and fragrance. Then Krishna says, Tejas chasmi vibha vaso. So Tejas is the heat. Cha is also Asmi, I am. Vibhavaso is in the fire. So he's the heat in the fire. And we are attracted to fire for its essential quality of giving out heat. When it's so cold, we want something, heated around us. And that is the attraction of fire. I'm the energy in fire, the form or rupa, which enables all things to be cooked, burned, relieved cold, and illuminated. So form or rupa is the sense object sustaining the element fire. Tejas is here regarded as equivalent to rupa. Prabhupada says, without fire, we cannot run factories, we cannot cook, etc. And that fire is Krishna. The heat in the fire is Krishna. According to Vedic medicine, indigestion is due to low temperature in the belly. And so, even for digestion, fire is needed. Jathar Agni, right? That's what they say within the stomach that helps in digestion. I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming to digest all food, all kinds of food stuff. So he joins. So that fire joins with the air of life, outgoing and incoming within the body, and that helps. That's why it is said when we're eating food, half an hour before and after eating, we should not drink anything. Because when we drink, if somebody is really thirsty, sipping a little bit of room temperature water is okay. Hot soup is also okay, but drinking something cold is not recommended because what does it do? There is a fire of digestion, so it cools down that digestive fire, and then digestion becomes very difficult. People, they are so ignorant. They'll just keep a bottle of Coke or such beverages and drink along with eating, and eating all kinds of fast food, pizza and burgers. It's so bad for digestion, and that's why diseases are so prevalent these days. Unless the Supreme Lord helps in digesting, we cannot even enjoy eating. Jivanam sarvabhuteshu. So he says, I am the Jivan, I'm the life in all living entities, all sarvabhuteshu, in all living entities. Let's have somebody read this. Can unmute and read.
An atheistic conception. Many scientists reject the conception of soul. If the soul is there, being spiritual, how is it going to affect matter? Because matter is affected by material forces. Vedic conception. The soul and matter interaction is through the super soul. Super soul controls both spirit and matter. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. What defines all living beings is their life, and that life comes ultimately from Krishna. The soul is part of Krishna. An arrangement by which the soul is able to manifest life through matter is also coming from Krishna. Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke and Mare Krishna Rakhe Ke. You must have heard this. If Krishna desires to kill somebody, nobody can give him protection. And if he wants to save somebody, nobody can kill him. This is Krishna's protection. Life and death is not in anyone's hands except Krishna. And I wanted to include a small video here. I wasn't able to. It was amazing. When I put this Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke, I just Googled it and this video came up. I'd like to share that. It's very interesting. And let's look at, you all can see, right? What has come up? Okay. This man is, peacefully in his own thoughts. He's walking on the road, going about his work, and such a high-speed vehicle comes behind him, straight behind him. And let's see how he's saved. There's no way he doesn't know what's coming behind him walking on the road, and there is no way he can be saved, but see how Krishna saves him. He just realized what happened. Did you see that car that was, or whatever vehicle coming behind him? Yeah, it just turned a little bit and then crashes into that tree in front. Luckily, nothing happens to that driver also. Isn't that amazing how Krishna, if he wants to protect, nobody can kill. But if Krishna wants to kill, nobody can protect. We're sitting in, we saw that in Ahmedabad, that crazy plane crash, how people were in their hostel, right, in the cafe, just inside the hostel and the medical hostel, and they were just having their meal. And suddenly airplane comes on top and so many were killed. 10 to 12, I think, in that hostel were killed. It's just amazing. Okay, let's come back to our slideshow here. I wasn't able to
And
include
also,
it. Yes, go ahead.
Mataji, and also in that crash, amongst about 270 people, 240 plus, only one survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, right. Good, you brought out that point, only one. And how did he survive when all 241 were killed, right?
And Mataji, one more thing, there was another news was viral. Bhagavad Gita book was found in the
Yeah,
crash area and nothing happened to it. I
nothing
hope you've
happened to
seen
it.
that.
Everything else was burnt, and they were showing Bhagavad Gita how, nothing happened to.
Yeah.
And the pictures and everything was clear. Wonderful. Tapaschasmi tapasvishu. And Krishna says, I'm the penance in those who are practicing penance. So the austerities, the severe austerities that yogis go through, Krishna says, I am those austerities. Next one. Bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham. Have somebody read this.
O son of Partha, know that I am the original seed of all existences and intelligence of intelligent and the power
Prowess.
and the prowess of all powerful men.
So three
Hare
more
Krishna.
attributes, Hare Krishna, three more attributes here. Krishna says, Bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam. I'm the seed. So Bijam mam, I am the seed of all living entities. Sarva bhutanam. Vidhi, try to understand, O Partha, the Sanatanam, original and eternal. I am that original and eternal seed in all living entities. Let's have somebody read this.
I am the seed which never gets exhausted. All the varieties of living things have come from Krishna, and still Krishna remains the original truth. He remains Sanatana, the imperishable truth. Hare Krishna.
So Krishna is the Hare Krishna. You can continue, Prabhu. Krishna is the source of everything.
Krishna is the source of everything. Bijam, seed. Krishna is the seed of everything. Living entity, movable, birds, beasts, men, etc. Inert, trees and plants. In all cases, their seeds of life is Krishna. Brahman, or supreme, absolute truth, is the form which everything is emanating. Tai Taittiriya Upanishad 3.1.1.
Upanishad.
Upanishad. Oh, sorry, Upanishad, yeah. Brahman, the impersonal aspect, is resting on Para Brahman, the personal aspect. Reference from Brahmano hi pratishtaham. As root maintains entire tree, Krishna maintains everything.
Next, Krishna says, Buddhir buddhi matam asmi, and I am the intelligence of the intelligent. I am the intelligence, the ability to distinguish what is valuable from what is worthless in those having intelligence. Prabhupada says, one cannot do anything without intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Then Krishna says, I'm Tejas, Tejas Vinamaham. I am the prowess of the powerful. Power, I'm the confidence, the ability to conquer others and not be conquered by others in those who have power. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman, coming from Katha Upanishad. He is the prime eternal among all eternals. He is the supreme living entity of all living entities, and he alone is maintaining all life. One cannot do anything without intelligence, and Krishna also says that he is the root of all intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Prabhupada says every living entity is contained within the scope of 8,400,000 species of life. Some of them are moving and some of them are inert. In all cases, however, the seed of their life is Krishna. Balam balavatam chaham kama raga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha. Let's have somebody read the translation. Two more attributes here.
I am the
I am
strength.
the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principles, O Lord of the Bharatas. Arjun. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Balam balavatam chaham kama raga vivarjitam. I am the strength of the strong, and I'm passion and attachment devoid of that kama. I am passion devoid of kama. So he says selfish desire and attachment in general, which one needs to give up while employing one's strength. And then dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. So one of the four, we know kama is one of the four purusharthas. Dharma, artha, kama, and last one is moksha. So kama, one of the four purusharthas, is what Krishna means when he says kamosmi over here. So purpose of human being, not just sensual gratification, it refers to holistic prosperity in terms of having natural comforts and an overall satisfactory family life without too many anxieties, elements that form part of life. Also means the kama also means sexual desire, which Krishna says, I am that desire within the presence of dharma, not against religious principles. So Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to perceive Krishna's presence in all aspects of life, all around him. So kama raga vivarjitam. Kama is desire for maintaining one's life and for material objects, and raga is after having attained one's desired object, one still hankers for additional things. So kama is wanting, and then raga is then what? Hankering for more. Another name for raga is excessive thirst for material enjoyment, which contaminates the consciousness. But rag is also in connection with Krishna when when we connect rag to Krishna, it becomes transcendental and spiritual and beyond these modes. But here Krishna is talking about within the material modes. Then he says, Balam Balvatam, strength devoid of Kama and Raga enables one to perform one's prescribed duties properly. Sridhar Swami says Krishna is the strength of the strong, bereft of these two. The strong man's strength should be applied to protect the weak, not for personal aggression. And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, I'm the strength of the strong, not displayed out of anger or used to desire, with the desire to maintain to one's own lifestyle. So example is given. We'll come to that. Yes, Deepa Mataji. We're still understanding. We're not that, but you can go ahead with your question if you have.
Yeah, if my question is being answered later, please let me know. So Mataji, my question is, Krishna says that he is the taste of, the smell of the earth, but not the decomposed earth. We're talking about the positive aspect, and then even in terms of karma, he talks about within the dharmic environment. So my question is, what about all the bad elements? What was the source of that? Like, karma outside of marriage and things like that. What is the source of that, as you mentioned?
So, yeah, it's a very general question which people ask. If good comes from God, then how about evil? When Krishna is the source of everything, then isn't evil also coming from him? That is also a general question people will ask. So, example always given by acharyas, which one of those examples that I like to quote is Krishna, for example, gives us fresh grapes. But what do? We ferment it and make wine out of it. So the wine is not coming from Krishna. Krishna originally gave us fresh grapes, and that is how they were meant to be consumed. So this material world was meant for us because we wanted to enjoy separately than Krishna. Then he sends us in this material world, but along with that, he also comes along to guide us within our heart, then as Guru and Shastra also. But if we neglect all of those, and because of our ego and our corrupted desires, we want to enjoy separately in corrupted ways, then that's against religion, right? That is coming from us, not directly from Krishna. We are corrupting it due to our own desires.
Like free will, it is from our free will. So those are the creations of our free will.
Free will. With that free will, we want to fulfill our own corrupted desires. Now, why did Krishna give us free will then? Right? That is also another question. He shouldn't have, if everything should be nice and we have to suffer because of our own, desires, then why did Krishna give us that free will with which we can, fulfill our adharmic desires, kind of, right? So, see, the free will is also very, very important because what is the ultimate goal in a human life? Prema, to love Krishna. Correct? That is the ultimate goal. But prema cannot be forced upon anyone. There has to be element of free will. Yes, I want to, right? Between a girl and a boy, if a boy really loves the girl, but the girl doesn't love the boy cannot forcefully get her. Even if he does, it's not very natural and it's not very pleasant. Correct. So free will is required for that loving exchange. And that's why that, minute free will is given to everyone.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. So he says, I'm not lust. So this is coming from our acharyas. Krishna, this is what they're explaining, what Krishna wants to tell us. I am lust, not contrary to dharma, directed towards one's wife, only for the production of children. So this also, our acharyas say, okay, sex life only for production of children, not otherwise. Then it becomes a dharma. Responsibility of parents is then to make their offsprings Krishna conscious. So now there are gradations. People generally, because we are all adults here, we can talk about these topics. generally speaking, if a person is following strictly what is coming from the scriptures, Prabhupada tells us, okay, then within marriage also, procreation should be the only purpose of having uh, sex with the partner. That should be the only. Now, that is the highest. Coming down, okay, then you can indulge in sexual life within your marriage, right? Within the partners, husband and wife, but do it once in a month. That is also one of the acharyas have given that permit. Then okay, highest only for procreation. Okay, once a month. Also, if we go into a lot of details, one of the things is also only at night, not in the day. In the day becomes adharmic. So like that, I mean, I don't want to go into so many details, but these are a few things which our acharyas have given, which have been coming from the scriptures. Okay, so we've done all this. It's just a recap. Prabhupada says the strong man's strength should be applied to protect the weak, not for personal aggression. Similarly, sex life, according to religious principles, dharma should be for propagation of children, not otherwise. The responsibility of parents is then to make their offspring Krishna conscious. Having said that he is both the cause and the essence of everything, Krishna summarizes that even the three modes of material nature that control this world are under his control. This is the last verse for today's class. Yechaiva satvika bhava rajasas tamasascha ye mattaiveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mai. Have somebody read the translation.
Know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna says, I'm not affected by the modes. All material activities are conducted under the three modes. These modes emanate from the Lord, and he's not subordinate to them. So analogy is given like the king, he's the lawmaker and he's not subject to the state laws. Or for example, there is a jailer and he comes to visit a jail. He goes inside, so he's not the one who is under the rules of the jail. He doesn't have to come in a line like other prisoners. So he's above the rules. Just like that, Krishna says, these rules are coming from me. The modes are coming from me. All activities conducted under the modes. So those modes, Prakriti, everything is emanating from me and I am not under them. Prabhupada says, under the state laws, one may be punished, but the king or the lawmaker is not subject to that law. Similarly, all modes emanate from Krishna, but he's not subject to them. Therefore, he's called Nirguna, meaning these modes don't affect him, although coming from him. That is one of the special characteristics of Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Let's have somebody read this who hasn't read before. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and
all things are dependent on me. Mataji, go ahead.
Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan, similar. All things are dependent on me. Things in Mataji, what is that emoji?
Things in mode of goodness. Mode of passion, then mode of ignorance.
Things in mode of goodness, sense, mind control, sense, devatas. Things in mode of passion, lust and pride, asuras like Hiranyakashipu. Things in mode of ignorance, lamentation, illusion, and the rakshasas. These are all the products of the gunas of Prakriti belonging to me. Srila Prabhupada, all material activities in the world are being conducted under the modes, although they emanate from Krishna. He is not subject to them. 2.1 Do not exist in them. I do not depend on them like the jivas, but they exist in me. They are dependent on me.
Looks like 2.1, but is number 2 point. I do not exist in them.
Oh, sorry,
It's
Mataji.
okay. I do not exist in them. I do not depend on them like the jivas. Okay. Okay, so these are all the various attributes Krishna has given from 8 to the 11th verses, right? So this is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I am the taste in water, I'm the light of the sun and the moon, I'm the syllable Om, I'm the sound in ether, I'm the ability in man, I'm the natural fragrance of the earth, I'm the heat and fire, I'm the light.